Okay, so Marvel movie MCU tier list, including the Disney Plus shows. Well, I got this list. It doesn't have What If, so the Disney Plus shows involve is until Loki, and it doesn't have Shang Chi, which is fine because I kind of watch it, but I watch it blurred, so I and half of the movie is in Mandarin. So yeah, I don't understand the plot of Shang Chi, so I can't review it. But for this, for this shows in this row, I'm gonna rank them based on my perception. See, I'm also critical of the source material and how it is presented to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I'm not a fake geek, you know that. And spectacle cinema, I don't care about it as long as I had a good time watching the movie. That is what I see in these movies. I don't see it like Martin Scorsese, where it's not a cinema. Well, it's a spectacle, not cinema. So if all of these rankings is whether I have a good time watching them or not. So let's start off with the first entry in the row. Yes, these aren't in chronological order. So, first off, Guardians of the Galaxy. Easy, lovely, lovely, lovely. Oops. Yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy was one of those movies where I was trying to find out who would I watch Marvel movies going forward, because it's either college friends or high school friends, and Guardians of the Galaxy kick off a failed college friends meetup because who knew my college friends don't like each other? Crazy, right? They have beef with each other. I also have beef with some of them. Not everyone got to be invited, and some are being salty when they were not invited. But yeah, that's my experience watching Guardians of the Galaxy. But watching Guardians of the Galaxy with college friends, I appreciate the music. The storyline was good. Ronan was the only flaw. Ronan was a forgettable villain, but he did his job being the villain. But he's downright so linear that the carry job had to go through the cast who are really unknown in the Marvel lore for casuals. And I think the MCU handpicked, the producer, Kevin Feige handpicked the cast because the Guardians of the Galaxy I knew were Adam Warlock, Quasar, Star-Lord, Groot, Rocket Raccoon. And we have Gamora here and Drax filling in on their shoes. And it worked. It had the chemistry, it had action, it had no dull moments. So, yeah, lovely, lovely, lovely for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1. Second on this row, Age of Ultron. I think it was about bearable when I watched it. It was definitely the worst Avengers movie by far. They did Ultron dirty, they altered his storyline. I mean, I think it makes sense Stark would invent Ultron, but I am a huge fan. I am a huge advocate on the Hank Pym Ultron situation, that I think they should have made Ultron a better big bad for the future phases. You know, instead of Kang the Conqueror for phase 4 onwards, we can have Ultron as the big baddie. Right? So yeah, I think this movie was cash in because Age of Ultron is an ongoing storyline back then, and I think the producers wants to cash in on that storyline, but that storyline wouldn't work in the MCU because, surprise, Marvel Studios doesn't have the rights to X-Men, and the X-Men were a pivotal part of the Age of Ultron's comic book storyline. Wolverine was the lead. Oh yeah. Also, it wasn't an Age of Ultron. It was like a week of Ultron. James Spader as Ultron is bad, to be honest. The Hulk Natasha subplot was bad. I think the thing that made it bearable for me is that this is the movie that started forming the circle, the high school friends group that I have that is currently watching Marvel movies before the pandemic, and hopefully after the pandemic we will reunite to watch more Marvel movies in the future. So this was our first movie watched together, Age of Ultron, and it made about sense. It was just about bearable. Saving grace on the movie. The cabin scene was fine. Yeah, the cabin scene was fine. The action was good. Quicksilver's death was. I felt rushed. They could have done more with Quicksilver, but because of rights issues, licensing, because Quicksilver is existing in the Fox universe, the Foxverse, back then, I couldn't understand why they killed that character early. But we've got that cool WandaVision meta casting because of Age of Ultron, so yeah. We got the Scarlet Witch here, so that's a +1. Yeah, Age of Ultron just about bearable. Ant-Man! So we were starting off watching movies together, but we didn't really kick off until like what's was on 2016 Doctor Strange. So yeah, Ant-Man. I think I watched this alone. I think it was just about bearable. I think yeah, just about bearable. The villain here is just an evil version of himself, and I think the Yellow Jacket Hank Pym in What If is a better rendition. And we still haven't got the conclusion on what happened to the vial that Hydra, I assume it was Hydra, got in the end of the movie. Maybe in Quantum Mania. We never got that resolution. It was. I think Paul Rudd did the hard carry on this movie, to be honest. Civil War. It's alright. Now, don't blame me, but Civil War has the problem of having too many ingredients in one food. Screen time was a problem. It was all about Bucky. That's why the Accords were done, because of Bucky, but it wasn't Bucky because it was Zemo. Spider-Man was forced into this movie because geeks said Spider-Man was a pivotal part of the Civil War storyline. It led to Spider-Man being the MCU, but I don't think Civil War was the proper entrance that Spider-Man needed to be in the MCU. To be honest, he was shoehorned in and had like 10 minutes of screen time. The action was good, the airport scene was good, but that was the big blow off to that. And the conclusion was the Avengers broke up because Zemo's cycle destroyed their psyche and shit. It was that good of a film, but the problem is there's too many ingredients. It spoiled the broth. Doctor Strange is also alright. The visual effects was good. The story was good. Dormammu, I felt was rushed. He should have been also a big bad. I mean, MCU could have considered Dormammu, Ultron, over Kang the Conqueror being phase 4 villains. But I'm not the producer, but that's my opinion. But this is a comic. For me, it's comic book accurate. The hands were destroyed in an accident. Strange loses all of his money finding a cure. Went into the training. Spot on casting. Brilliant acting by Benedict Cumberbatch. Yeah, this Doctor Strange is an alright entry. Volume 2, it's also alright for me. The Yondo scene was good. Ego was an yeah, I think Ego is better as a one-up villain. I can see him as a big bad of the MCU moving forward. I see Ego as one-up villain. Kurt Russell did an amazing job as Ego, where he fucks Star-Lord's mom, birding. It was like a Jesus Christ thing. You know that? So yeah, Volume 2. I watched it alone because none of my friends were available during the day. And it's quite enjoyable. The sisterhood between Gamora and Nebula have been explored here. The problem is Peter being a Celestial and giving up his powers, which could have been useful for Infinity War. But other than that, Mantis was a good addition to the Guardians. I think we're still left hanging on what would be the direction going forward with Adam Warlock after that post-credit scene. There's no resolution to that. I hope the holiday special will give a definite conclusion. Next, I put Far From Home on such good shit. I personally thought this made Spider-Man look stupid. Wait, is this Far From Home or Homecoming? Oh, this is Far From Home. This is Homecoming. Homecoming is alright. Sorry about the confusion. So, Homecoming is alright. I enjoyed it very, very much. Michael Keaton as the Vulture. Brilliant casting. What I don't like is Liz Toombs as the love interest. I never really knew her in the comics. I think it's just the common niche that Marvel Studios tend to give focus on less popular characters than the more popular ones. The twist that Vulture was Liz Toombs, that was very good. The cinemas left us shocked on that reveal. Tom Holland's Spider-Man was good. And since I already mentioned it, yeah, Far From Home is just such good shit for me. It's a good movie, but I think it made Tom Holland Spider-Man look stupid. He got outplayed by a guy in a motion capture suit. If this was the comic book accurate version of Mysterio, Tom Holland would have died. If he's lucky he didn't battle the comic book version of Mysterio, unless he would have died with those illusions. Because oh boy, he got outplayed, he got outwitted by Jake Gyllenhaal. A guy who plays the role of Mysterio via script. Essentially, Mysterio is not the person, Mysterio is the people. Yeah, I take that like Asgard stuff. Very... Yeah, I was underwhelmed by Far From Home, to be honest. The side story with Ned and Betty felt forced. I never liked MJ in this universe, so that's on me. Not liking the movie less. Yeah, I think they made Tom Holland just a stupid goofball here, and it was post Endgame. It was the first movie after Endgame. Thor Ragnarok, one of my favorites. Lovely, lovely, lovely. It remade Thor. It gave him a personality. The past Thor movies, he was just a Viking. This one, it had the Guardians of the Galaxy comedic sense and made Thor likable as a hero. And it gave him character development. This was the best Thor movie by far. And I had a very good time when they went into the devil's anus. Again, there's no dull moments in this movie. I see Thor as the alpha of all Thor movies. And I hope Love and Thunder lives up to to my expectations. Black Panther is alright. Will we ever see a trash movie? No. You might say because I rank it lower because of race. No. I say that because Black Panther is actually a very good movie. The problem is Killmonger is actually a good villain. I want him to live. So that kinda lowers the score for me. Because he made the direction made Killmonger a likable villain, but he is killed. He became a one-off villain instead of, I don't know, capturing him, expanding on him more. Michael B. Jordan's performance, I think, stole T'Challa's performance as the best performer on the movie. So yeah, good stuff. Infinity War, Thanos is the protagonist of this story. I don't care what anyone says, Thanos is the protagonist. The Avengers are the antagonists. Why Thanos is on the quest to hunt the Infinity Stones, his foil are the Avengers. If you see it on that perspective, you can understand what type of character Thanos is. And it's a shame it was undone. The brilliance of Infinity War was undone in Endgame. But Endgame's a more spectacle. I put it such good shit. Now people will question my decision on that, but hear me out. Endgame is supposed to be spectacle storytelling wise. You threw it out of the window, but it completely undone what Thanos have done in Infinity War. Instead of having a proper conclusion on battling the Thanos that we have known in Infinity War, we have battled a Thanos that we have known in Guardians of the Galaxy, who is a warlord. And that, I think that kinda spoils it a bit. Also, the final battle, the Avengers Assemble scene, was only epic during the portal scene. It quickly fell up during the big clash. Only good moments I remember there was, yeah, the Wanda was good. Captain Marvel arriving was kinda okay. The force speed on the woman was kinda cringe. So yeah, Endgame is such good shit. Infinity War is lovely, lovely, lovely. Iron Man. What can I say about Iron Man? It started the MCU. The CGI held up to this day. What else? What else can I describe? What else is still to describe on Iron Man? It's S tier. It restarted Robert Downey Jr.'s career. It still holds up cinema wise. It was very grounded in reality. When you get those nostalgia glasses, seeing those metal flaps on Iron Man's armor, very, very good. That CGI, brother, it still holds up, man. Ant-Man and the Wasp belongs in the trash. I never enjoyed it. I never really liked Ghost. I never liked Evangeline Lilly's performance. Yeah, I don't like Lawrence Fishburne's performance. I thought this was a hard carry by Paul Rudd and Michael Douglas. Yeah, that's the only good thing about this movie is Paul Rudd's mischiefs and Michael Douglas reuniting with Michelle Pfeiffer, Hank Pym, Janet on the Quantum Realm, which is vital to Endgame. But all in all, the movie before Endgame, I think, was this the movie before Endgame? No, this is the movie after Infinity War. The movie before Endgame was Captain Marvel, and we'll get to that. So yeah, belongs in the trash. Captain Marvel, just about bearable. We talk about world building in the MCU. We have understood that on first Avenger, the Tesseract was retrieved by Shield, and we have in the ocean. That's why Captain America said you shouldn't have looked for it. You should have kept it under the sea, something in the first Avengers movie. But we got this side story that the Tesseract was used for another project that was kind of shoehorned in Captain Marvel. Again, the feminism was overexposed here. People may say I don't like women. No, I just don't like shoehorning it. Also, Captain Marvel suffers from the problem of DC superheroes being too powerful. I mean, she's too powerful. In Endgame, they had to nerf her by making her arrive at the last minute, which is always the common fix. Justice League Superman arrived at the last minute to battle Steppenwolf. Same goes as Captain Marvel because she's too powerful. That's the main problem of these heroes becoming overpowered. Okay? That it generally destroys the lack of tension in the movie because Wanda is overpowered. Next, WandaVision. I think WandaVision with 3 Emmys and having more fans is the best Disney Plus show. The fan theories. The only thing that destroyed WandaVision was the Mephisto hype. But that's not on Marvel. That's on the fans. Because, oh boy, every single fan theory in WandaVision did not hit. Even the multiverse did not hit on WandaVision. And looking back, I think WandaVision may be the most unpredictable show the most unpredictable Disney Plus show that has been ever produced. And yeah, good job on Wanda and Vision for that. I go Falcon and Winter Soldier is my favorite of the Disney Plus shows, but WandaVision is clearly the best. But this one is personal favorite. I think it's alright. The problem with Falcon and Winter Soldier is it ran alongside Invincible, and it was a side story. The main focus of the Marvel Cinematic Universe now is the multiverse, and here we got Bucky and Falcon fixing a boat, doing political things. Yeah, but I get that it's supposed to be grounded. Captain America films are grounded to reality. That's why I enjoyed it. I don't see it as supposed to be WandaVision in terms of that, but in terms of storytelling, I think Falcon the Winter Soldier nailed it. It had a good villain in US Agent. It had a bad villain in Carly. Carly's point of view is not good. If you want her to be this revolutionary leader, you have to make her goals likable so that you can see through her and not be against her. You need to convince yourself to join Carly. Carly has to convince you. It should be a mutual understanding. It just happens. You don't want to join Carly. Carly wants to join you. There's no mutual exchange of feelings. Black Widow, the saving grace here is Yelena. Enough said. I'm disappointed Taskmaster is a female. They ruined one of my favorite characters in the comics, Taskmaster. I don't think they gave Iron Maiden justice. I think Red Guardian was portrayed very well. Yeah, the only thing that makes Black Widow bearable was Yelena. Yelena was the good part of the movie, to be honest. And the lawsuit kind of made it worse. Loki is about it's if I can play some middle of lovely, 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 and all right, yeah. Loki is better than Falcon and Winter Soldier, but it's miles below WandaVision because I get it. The plot of Loki is about the multiverse, and they say that the stones were depowered during Loki, but we need to understand the reason they depowered the stones is that the stones aren't the big thing anymore. The next big thing is the multiverse. They're just trying to move on with the stones, and I think Loki failed to deliver that message to the people. That's why people sees it as depowering the Infinity Stones. If the execution of saying, yeah, the Infinity Stones are like the things that we're not gonna focus on them anymore. The next big thing is the multiverse. If that execution, if it was executed well, to tell the people that, I think Loki would have been better. Else, the beginning of the show, devouring the Infinity Stones, making it for a simple joke of a paperclip, actually lessens Loki. And it's a shame. It's quite a good show, but one that one punchline that really devoured the stones. If they could have executed really, yeah, that is the message they're trying to convey. The message is the Infinity Stones aren't the next big thing. It's the multiverse. Yeah, you get what I'm saying. Hulk belongs in the trash. Totally forgotten by the many. What is this? Is this Iron Man 2? Okay, Iron Man 2. I find it such good shit. Now, people may say Iron Man 2 is the worst Iron Man of them all, but I kinda enjoyed it. I enjoyed it more than 3 because of Don Cheadle and War Machine and Justin Hammer. Justin Hammer's banter on that one bullet, the ex-wife, is the single greatest piece of comedic line in MCU history. Any quips are lackluster against the ex-wife. Next is Thor. Thor movies in the beginning, being a Viking movie, it belongs in the trash. Loki was the only defining factor in Thor. This was a straight up one dimensional good versus evil movie. Captain America failed in its execution to introduce Captain America to the MCU. So yeah, I think I'm gonna rank first Avenger to such good shit. I enjoyed it. Not many enjoyed it though. I watched it on HBO, not in theaters, and I had fun with it. It's like, yeah, I think this was pretty much a failed execution in introducing Captain America to the audience. Next is Avengers. Considering Infinity Warrior, it I bump it off as S tier. It's gonna be alright. It was a cheesy spectacle. It had all the quips. It had the moments. When it was released in 2012, it was a huge deal. Like even in 9gag, everything I see was Avengers. I watch it at home. I don't have any money to go to cinemas then yet. And I was extremely odd to the point that Avengers was released April and I was talking for it 3 months after. Yeah, it was very enjoyable. Iron Man 3 just about bearable. I don't like the Mandarin twist, but I think like I've heard Shang Chi kind of fixed that, so I may want to revisit it. I don't like Iron Man 3 because it features more Tony than Iron Man. Yeah. Thor the Dark World, we don't talk about that. So Thor the Dark World belongs in the trash. I think this was the first movie after Avengers, and yeah, it went from peak going down very quick. I don't even remember the plot here. Can you tell me the plot of Thor the Dark World? Exactly. Also, Thor the Dark World's ending was Loki getting the throne and was treated as a joke in Thor Ragnarok. We don't talk about Thor the Dark World anymore. I'm sorry. Was this directed by Patty Jenkins? I'm sorry, Wonder Woman director. Of course, Winter Soldier. And no words. Best Marvel movie ever. Yeah, okay. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.